Dave's driving, of course, because it's 3 Daves, and the other 2 are like, I don't think we should do this. Every house in North Carolina is in the intercoastal. How are you going to drive through the buildings? And Mr. Optimist, of course, he said, no problem, dude, just be optimistic. And we stayed optimistic until the windshield wipers blew off, and now we're in a pouring rainstorm driving 50 in a no-wake zone. And for you boat owners, you know no wake is like 5 miles an hour. And we're just humming 50 at like 4 in the morning in the middle of a tropical storm. And both windshield wipers fall off, and I'm like, we can't keep driving, Dave. And he said, yes, we can. Yes, we can. Oh, that's another book. But he said, let me get out on the windshield, and I will be the windshield. And if that isn't a display of optimism and a movement,
that's awesome,
that I'm drinking the Kool-Aid / coffee. And I think some of these stories, if you haven't read them already, will really get you more optimistic, and you'll really understand the character behind David Mezzapelle. Because he truly is, he coined a phrase when we were little kids, telling people, are you psyched? Wasn't enough for Dave. It was enough for all of us, but it wasn't enough for Dave. He had to take it to the next level. So he coined a phrase I want you all to go home and say to your spouses, significant other, kids, dog, your cat, hamster, lions, bobcats, whatever you have as pets, and say, are you ripping psyched? Because that's Dave's term. Are you ripping psyched? So on that note, thank you guys, and bring up David Mezzapelle.
Thank you, Dave. That's funny. I don't know what's funnier, the yoga mat story or the chamois on the windshield wipers. Oh, that's great. Make sure the PowerPoint didn't freeze. Okay. How's everybody doing?
We're good inside.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, thank you. Thank you, Dave, for that great welcome, and thank you, Book Passage. And I have to say, as a compliment to Book Passage, everywhere I go, people say, you got to go to Book Passage in Corte Madera. You got to do it. And this is my first time here, so I'm honored. So thank you. Thank you very much. And thank you for putting all this together, all you guys. So, we're going to start out with my little drill. I do this all the time. Bear with me. It's going to go somewhere. On the count of 3, I want everybody to say, I am psyched. But you got to say it like you mean it. I want it to resonate through the room. Okay? All right, here we go. 1, 2, 3. I am psyched. Nice. How therapeutic is that? Say it every day. It's great to hear. It's great to say. Trust me. I've been doing it for 45 years. Okay, and now the grand prize. Another drill. But again, bear with me on this one. Can anybody tell me, outside of Gay Pride Weekend, can anybody tell me what today is? It's actually 3 official days fall today. And whoever gets it right, actually now there's 3 of them, so I got to buy 3 books. I'll walk you to the counter and buy you each a book. So, you want some hints, or does anybody know?
Is it the Battle of Gettysburg?
No, that's pretty close.
Was that yesterday?
Exactly.
It was yesterday.
Exactly. So, all right, the first hint. Or actually in today's, with the iPhones. Close. National Camera Day. Awesome. Who said that? You did. You're getting another book. Okay. Now the second one. Here, ready for the hint?
National Keg Day.
No, close. Close. I'll even give you more of a hint, which I shouldn't do. Waffle. The food. Waffle.
National Ironing Day.
You're so close.
Waffle.
Yes! All right. Wow, this is pretty good. All week long I've been doing these crazy days. Nobody has gotten one of them. Even the Gettysburg. I needed you yesterday.
It was yesterday.
All right, well there you go. So you get a book.
Waffle Iron Day? Is
National Waffle Iron Day.
And someone knew that?
She said it.
Oh my
It's about the
God.
appliance, not the food.
Right.
That's amazing.
Good job.
All right, now the last one. The last one. All I could say is marshmallow. I can't say anything else.
S'mores.
No, very close though. All right, a stick with the marshmallow.
Rice or, yeah, whatever you call that.
Wow.
Roast your marshmallow day.
I was going to say, no one's going to get it. No.
Campfires.
Oh, very close. National Backyard Camping Day. Can you believe that? Who thought of that? There's actually one other, but I didn't want to say it, but since you're laughing, I will. Butter Crunch Day. It's
Ooh,
National Butter Crunch Day.
butter crunch.
Unbelievable. Anyway, I didn't think of these, I'm just reading them. All right, so let's get started. I want you to think back to your childhood. Those trips to visit relatives. For me, it was my grandmother in New York in the 1970s. I could still smell her cooking. I could still hear the sound of the clear vinyl seat covers on her couch as I peeled my legs off. You know, the kind Miss Barone has in Everybody Loves Raymond. But what I remember most are the stories my relatives told. I'm sure you can relate. And while we may have heard those stories 1,000 times, what we wouldn't give to hear those stories again today. And it was from this that I made it my mission to capture real stories from real people around the globe, because I believe we all have the capacity to make optimism contagious just by sharing our life's adventures, our successes, and even our failures. Just look at it this way. Whether people are enduring good times or bad, just knowing that others have been in the same boat and have persevered is comforting. It spreads a message of hope. Well, for example, meet Lee Silo. Lee was tired of being ridiculed as a young boy for not having a bicycle, nor being able to afford one. His single mother worked hard just to make ends meet. But one day, Lee had a bright idea. He knew he could run home from school every day instead of taking the bus, and build up his strength and his endurance to compete. And he did. And by senior year, Lee not only became the track star, he earned the #1 title for track in the whole province and put his school on the map for competitive track and field. Pretty cool, I think. Meet Faith Campbell. Faith grew up with fear, violence, and abuse all around her. She knew she had to pull herself out. She knew she had to go back to school and learn a skill. And she did. Faith researched schools in the New York City area and stumbled across a tuition-free school for underprivileged women funded by the W.R. Grace family years ago, called the Grace Institute. She applied, she got in, and she successfully completed the coursework. Well, Faith is a great name for this person. Why? Because she never lost faith. Today, she's a proud mother, head administrator of a nonprofit in New York, and a motivational speaker. Faith Campbell. Wonderful. Yankee fans? I'm sure there's some here. All right, not far. Not far. That's funny. Meet Bucky Dent. Bucky is famous for the 3-run homer that allowed the Yankees to defeat the Red Sox in the 1978 World Series playoffs. The Yankees went on that year to defeat the Dodgers.
Oh.
And Bucky earned the series MVP. Bucky told me that optimism and positive mind control were key factors in his success that year, and still are today in everything he does. He also told me, very interesting, that in the 1970s, sports psychology was relatively unheard of. But today, every professional team has a sports psychologist on staff for the purpose of keeping the players positive, despite their performance. And that's very cool. Meet Caitlin Aronson. Caitlin has severe food allergies. So severe that just being near the wrong morsel of food will absolutely result in a life-threatening situation. Instead of complaining, Caitlin takes the time to educate other children on the importance of a healthy diet. She takes the